and welcome to Yoga Flow with Monica. My name is Monica and today we're gonna open the chest and shoulders. So many of us sitting in front of the laptops a lot, especially recently, and I think it's really nice sometimes to open the heart and let the air go in, and yeah, it just feels nice. So we're gonna go through a couple of the positions which all are friendly to beginners. So if you're a beginner, you can do this practice as well. And if you advance, it's a very nice way to kind of come back to basics, and just kind of move slowly and gently. Excellent. So for today's class, you can have blocks and a strap. If you don't have blocks, you can use a bigger, chunkier cushions or big books as well. If you don't have a strap, yoga strap, you can just use any type of belt, a tie, anything. So just grab those. And I'm gonna see you on the mat. We're gonna lay down on our backs, and we're actually gonna use the blocks, one or two, or none. It's not, as I mentioned, it's not necessary. Probably, I'm not sure if every one of you know, but English is not my first language, so apologies if I sometimes say something funny. So yeah, we're gonna start lying down on the back, and we're actually gonna put the very lowest, if you have a block, very lowest kind of level of a block, just kind of below your shoulder blades, somewhere there. It should be quite comfortable, okay? So we're gonna try it. We're gonna put it down, see how it feels. If you have a cushion as well, you can more or less lower it, put it underneath there. And then if you have another block or another cushion or a book, you can bring on a bit higher level and release your head down to the mat. You can keep your feet together and knees bent and open to the sides. And we're gonna just relax it here. So, for example, for those who don't have a block, so stay. For those who are on the blocks, just stay where you are. For others who don't have maybe a blocks or you don't have even pillows, you can come into the same position laying down. But what you're gonna do now, you actually grab either your wrists, opposite wrists with your palms, or maybe even your elbows. And you slowly start releasing the forearms behind your head. That as well helps you to open up the chest and release the tension in your shoulders. And just stay there. A couple more breaths here, just grounding into the practice. It won't be a very long practice, but still it's nice to start slow and concentrate on our breath and be mindful of our body. 2 more breaths here. Don't forget, we try to breathe through the nose if it's not blocked. So inhales and exhales happening through the nose. Last inhale and exhale here. You can keep your eyes closed for this more relaxing poses as well. And then you either release your elbows or you just bring your elbows to the floor and kind of lift yourself up in order to release the blocks, to bring the blocks to the sides. And we're slowly coming up into seated position. And first, we're gonna come into seated position, bringing your right arm towards the ceiling, bending into the elbow, and then releasing the left palm over that right elbow and making sure that the chin is parallel to the chest, so we're not rounding our spine, okay? The neck kind of continues to be long, and then slowly tilt towards the left side. So coming into kind of triceps, almost deltoid stretch, and a nice twist on for the right side of the body. Make sure that right hip is glued to the floor, so we're not lifting the hip up. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. Slowly come back to the center. Release the arms. 1 recovery breath cycle. Exhale everything, relax the shoulders, and we're gonna lift the left arm towards the ceiling now, bend into that left elbow, and apply gentle pressure with your right arm. Make sure that you feel comfortable, that you're not bringing your chin too much towards the chest, and then tilt tiny bit towards the right side, so it doesn't have to go too much, and make sure that that left hip again is not lifting. You should be able to breathe naturally, so if you kind of feel then that your breath is a little bit constrained, maybe you need to come out of the pose a little bit, maybe come back to the straight spine, so you don't have to tilt if it doesn't feel good, okay? Inhale and exhale. One more here. Slowly coming back out, releasing the arms. Again, one cycle of breath just to relax. Exhale everything. And I'm going to turn to the side. We're going to go into seated cat and cow. But we're going to interlace the fingers in front of us. And then push the palms away from you and start rounding the chest, tucking the belly in, really trying to separate those shoulder blades, even bringing the chin towards the chest this time. And then with an inhale, slowly coming back up, bringing the palms behind your back, interlacing the fingers and pushing the arms again away, coming into kind of cow pose. So opening the chest, bringing the shoulder blades really together. And repeat 3 more times. Exhale, really round the back. And then inhale. If behind is hard to interlace the fingers, you can just hook the thumbs, So grab the thumbs and open this way. Maybe look up if it's comfortable on the neck. Twice more. So slowly exhaling. That's why we need to work on lengthening the breath, so we can move through these poses with an inhale and exhale. Start inhaling, opening the chest, interlacing the palms behind, maybe looking up, not straining, just gently opening. Last time. Exhale, really round that back. Feel a nice stretch around your shoulder blades. Tuck the belly in, chin towards the chest. And last time coming through, if as I mentioned, you can just grab the opposite thumbs and open this way. Trying to bring the arms away, but don't overstrain it, okay? It's a nice chest opening. Exhale, come back to center. Bring the palms over your knees, relax here. Inhale, exhale, and then bring the palms to the front of the mat and come onto all fours. Making sure that the knees just below the hips. And what we're going to do, we're going to start walking palms forward. But before, for those people who have very, very tight shoulders, I would suggest to have a block just next to you. Because once we walk the palms to the front, we're going to start melting the heart down. So we're melting the chest towards the mat. We're coming into puppy pose or melting heart pose, Anahata in Sanskrit. And here you see, if I go down and start feeling loads of stretch in the shoulders, I won't be able to relax. So that's where the block comes handy, because you can just bring below your forehead and relax this way. If you still feel quite okay, you can actually release the forehead to the ground. For people who are a little bit more open in the shoulders, you can even bring the chin to the floor and looking straight forward. That's kind of the deepest pose. So choose wisely. We're going to stay here for 3 more breaths. One more. Last one. Then slowly start kind of bringing your weight towards the front of the mat and releasing the hips to the floor. So hip bones going to the floor. Your forearm stays on the mat, shoulders above the elbows. If you're feeling that this is a little bit too heavy for your lower spine, for your lumbar spine, if you feel some contraction here, you can always bring the elbows tiny bit forward and stay there. This is the Sphinx Pose. Start looking straight forward and trying to bring shoulders back and shoulder blades together. Okay, so we're trying not to collapse shoulders to the front, but actually bring them back. One more breath here. Then we're gonna tuck the toes. Bring your palms to the floor next to your ribs. Start pushing yourself away, trying to keep that straight kind of line from your crown all the way to the knees. And then start bending into the knees a little bit more and lifting your hips towards the ceiling, coming into downward dog. If it's the first of the day, you can really keep the knees gently bent. So you don't need to straighten the knees straight in the first downward dog. Just make sure you're pushing through your palms and trying to straighten the spine as straight as possible, and you're lifting that tailbone as high towards the ceiling as it feels comfortable for you. One more breath here. Looking forward and start walking towards the top of the mat. Very slowly, don't rush. We're gonna meet at the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we slowly release down into forward fold. And then inhale, we're gonna raise up into standing position. Observe how you feel. Relax shoulders to the back and down a little bit. Shoulders always stay away from the ears. That will help us to lengthen the spine and have the neck straight as well. One more breath here. We're gonna bring the arms behind again and interlace the fingers. Or as I mentioned, you can just hook the thumbs together, okay? So you choose what feels better. And then start bringing the arms away from the body. But make sure you don't overstretch the elbows. So elbows should be soft, okay? Tiny bit bend. Maybe look up, making sure that you're not bringing your belly forward. So we're not arching the lower, we're not working on opening, kind of stretching the lower spine. We're trying to open the upper spine. So this area should be neutral, okay? Our belly is not going forward. Keep opening the chest. Don't forget to breathe through the nose. And then, having the arms as they are, we're gonna start bending into the knees and slowly diving forward and down, coming into forward fold with the interlaced palms behind the back. Inhale and exhale. Try to make sure that, again, you're trying to bring the shoulders away from the ears. You're not collapsing them over. You're trying to bring them away from the ears. One more breath here. Look for that connection. Your belly to thighs, okay? And then gently release the palms down to the mat. You can move your wrist if you wish a little bit. Inhale, halfway lift. We're coming torso parallel to the ground. Exhale, lower it down. And then we're going to step both legs to the back of the mat. Release the knees to the ground. We're going to start bending into the elbows. Slowly releasing down and tucking the toes. Inhale, mini cobra. Observe how you feel. Make sure shoulders away from the ears. Elbows tucked next to your body. Inhale and exhale, one more. And then releasing down, release the right ear to the ground, relax in belly Shavasana. Inhale, exhale, one more. Come back to the center. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna lift again, but this time we're gonna lift the palms as well away from the mat, okay? So don't lift too high, engage the legs, trying to bring the shoulders away from the ears. shoulder blades coming in together. So strengthening the spine, making sure that we having that open chest, collarbone shining through. One more breath. And then releasing down, this time the left ear to the ground. Inhale and exhale, let the body relax. Heartbeat come back to natural. If it elevated a little bit. Great, coming back to the center again. Bringing the arms this time in front of you. Inhale and exhale. And we're gonna lift the palms away from the ground. So trying to lengthen the spine as much as you can. Lifting those arms, legs are engaged, looking straight forward. And then releasing down. Again, you can release the right ear to the ground. Inhale, exhale. Observe how your back feels. Come back to the middle. Last time. This time the arms next to your body, or if you want, you can hook the thumbs. Okay? And we're gonna lift ourselves up again, trying to bring those fingers to the back of the mat. Really open the chest. Lift your torso a little bit more. Don't forget to breathe. Smile to yourself, you're doing great. And then slowly releasing down. Bringing the left ear to the floor. Last belly Shavasana. One more breath. Then look to the floor. Bring the palms kind of next to your chest or ribs. Start pushing yourself away from the mat, tucking the toes, and then lifting ourselves into downward dog. Inhale, exhale, spreading the fingers wide, really pushing through the knuckles, clawing through the fingers will help you to release the tension on your wrists, kind of trying to push yourself away from the mat, lifting the tailbone as high as we can, and then maybe straighten the legs tiny bit more, but the heels doesn't have to touch, so don't worry about the heels. Just make sure that you really feel that nice long spine. Then look to the front of the mat, and we're gonna step the right leg in between the palms, release the left knee to the ground. Make sure that the knee is more or less above your ankle, and lift yourself up first. Relax, let the hip flexor open, and then we're gonna raise the arms up towards the ceiling. Inhale and exhale. One more here. And then again, we're gonna bring the palms behind the back, and we're gonna grab the palms or hook the thumbs and start opening up here. Again, we're not putting that pressure into lower back. It's more we're pushing the chest forward and up, and shoulders away from the ears, shoulder blades together. Maybe looking up if it's comfortable, or straight forward. One more breath here. Release the arms, release them to the floor. Tug the left toes, bring the knee away from the ground, and bring the front leg to the back. We're gonna come into downward dog. Inhale and exhale. Again, clawing through those fingers spreading wide, pushing away from the mat, trying to lift yourself as high as possible. Maybe straightening the legs a little bit more. One more breath. Looking to the front of the mat and stepping the left leg in between the palms, releasing the right knee. Again, looking that the knee more or less is above the ankle, lifting ourselves up. First, finding that comfortable stand. Again, I should have mentioned, so when you come into low lunge, make sure that you're already not applying the pressure over your lumbar spine. So you always can back out a little bit, And then release the hips down, so there is no arching in the lower spine. Then we're gonna raise the arms up first. 2 breaths. Release the shoulders, looking straight forward. 1 more breath here. And again, bringing the palms behind the back, interlacing the fingers or hooking the thumbs, and opening up. So first shoulder blades come together. Don't overstretch those elbows as well. Keeping a nice bend, kind of soft elbows. And then pushing the chest forward and up. No arching in the lower back. Okay, we're trying to keep the lower spine quite neutral. Just opening the shoulders and the chest. And you can look forward or towards the ceiling. 1 more breath here. Release the palms, bring them to the floor, and this time just bring the front leg to the back, but keep the knees on the mat and come to sit on the heels. Inhale and exhale. Observe how you feel. 1 more breath. And what we're gonna do now, I would suggest you to pick up the strap or the belt, or even, in reality, even, folded towel works as well. So we're gonna bring the strap in the right hand, bring the hand up, and then we're gonna bend into the elbows again. So observe how you feel. So first just gently kind of push the elbow down. If it feels okay and you feel a little bit more open, you can actually bring the left arm behind you. I'm just gonna turn and grab that strap. Look for that strap and start pulling up and down a little bit. Just kind of testing the waters. See how it feels. Maybe you're gonna shorten the strap a little bit more. Maybe even more, and maybe you can actually touch the fingers. If you touch the fingers, you can hook them. You can release the strap to the side and reach for your fingers, okay? So you see how it feels. Stay there. Keep breathing. Make sure that the chin parallel to the floor. 1 more breath. And slowly release it. 1 cycle of breath just to neutralize the spine. Full exhale. Again, I would grab the strap just to test it because the front sides feel differently. So bring the strap into the left arm, bring the arm towards the ceiling, bend, and then first just gently check in with the elbow, how it feels. Maybe it feels much more open than before. And then look for the strap behind with your right palm and see, maybe you can shorten the strap, maybe you can move a little bit up and down. See how you feel. Make sure that you don't feel the pain in the shoulders, so you might feel a little bit uncomfortable. It's quite a deep stretch, but you shouldn't be feeling any pain, okay? So discomfort is okay in yoga, pain is no. So just stay where you are for 2 more breaths. Last one. Release the arms. You're gonna come into the last, quick chest opening, and we're gonna come into lying position, into Shavasana, okay? So I'm gonna just go to the side. What you're gonna do, you're gonna bring the palms behind you, fingers facing towards the top of the mat, so towards your toes. And then we're gonna kind of push the chest out. So again, trying to bring those shoulder blades together. Look towards the ceiling. If it feels quite good, you can actually try and stretch out as well a little bit the hip flexors and your belly muscles by lifting the hips away from the floor. Just make sure that those knees don't start spreading out, okay? So knees should be more or less in line with your hips. So you can just perfectly stay here, trying to push the chest out, or maybe lift the hips and feel a little bit stretch in your thighs as well. Maybe hip flexors. 2 more breaths here. Last deep inhale and full exhale. Excellent. Very slowly start releasing down, coming into seated. Just observe how you feel. And you're gonna swing the legs to one side. Come to sit. So since we're opening the chest, I suggest maybe even instead of going into classical Shavasana, you can actually come onto the block. So again, bringing the block behind your lower back and then releasing it down. So kind of more or less below your shoulder blades. And you can have the other block behind your back, or maybe this time you can actually release the head to the floor. And again, you can keep your feet together and knees bent and wide open, or you can straighten the legs. If you don't have a block, no, don't worry, just come into Shavasana and stay there. So you can wiggle and kind of move before you release and relax in Shavasana as much as you want. That's very important, to find that very comfortable place for you to relax. You can stay on the block for a couple more breaths and then really take the block away. So if you think that that's enough, you can actually lift yourself up a little bit. Take the block away and then release fully onto Shavasana. Excellent. Inhale and exhale here. Couple more breaths here. You can start making slightly deeper breaths as well if you wish. Maybe start moving your fingers and toes. Slowly waking up the body from Shavasana. You can bring the legs together if you wish, bringing the arms above the head and doing the full body stretch. Then slowly bending into your knees, rolling over the right side, gently pushing into left palm and coming into seated position. Excellent. So just going to come into seated position. Bring the palms together, taking another cycle of breath. Bringing the palms towards your head and sealing the practice. Namaste. Great. Thank you so much for joining today. I hope you enjoyed this practice. And if you like the class, just hit the like button. As well, you can subscribe. There is more content coming up. As well, if you have any requests or any questions, just drop me a message under the video and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And I hope to see you soon again. Bye.